Spotlight. I'm Fran Pellegrino. Today, my guests are from Breakthrough New York. We have Executive Director Ria Wang and Dennis Quispe, who is a student, and he's with Breakthrough New York. And welcome, guys. So
Thanks
nice
so
to
much
have you here, Ria, Dennis.
Thank you so much.
I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Quispe.
Yes,
Is that right?
it's totally fine. Yes.
Okay. Ria, start off by telling us all about this program. I've never heard of it before. How many years is it running? And give us the whole story.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are Breakthrough New York. We are one of actually 26 sites in the nation. So we're actually a national program.
You're on 26 sites in the nation?
Yeah. But we're the only one in New York City. And we started here in 1999. And what we do is we identify high-achieving, low-income 6th grade students and support them for 10 years to and through college.
Oh, it starts at 6th grade.
Yeah. So we make a really long-term commitment to kids. And then the other piece of our program is that we hire
through to college?
Through to college, to and through, 10 years. And then the other piece of our program is that we hire high school and college students to teach. So we're also seeding the next generation of teachers.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous. And since 1999,
Since 99,
you said?
99 here in New York, but since 1978 nationwide.
Oh, 1978 nationwide.
And actually we started in San Francisco, which is where I'm from. And actually, as it happens, I'm a Breakthrough student myself. So I'm an alum of the program. I taught when I was in high school and college with the program, and 12 years ago I started as executive director here in New York. So it's been a long and exciting ride for me.
You were in San Francisco till now?
Well, I moved to New York 12 years ago, but
12 years
prior
ago.
to that I was in San Francisco.
And you know, how does the program go? How do you find the students that are deserving? And I mean, it must be a difficult process.
You know, it actually isn't. In fact, I think one of the hardest parts of my job is that we have so many wonderful, deserving, smart kids that we meet every year, and only a couple of spots.
So many.
There are a ton of kids, and so what we do is we work with middle schools throughout the city to identify the kind of kids who really benefit from the program, and then they actually have to apply to the program to demonstrate that they want to be part of it.
So, Ria, the schools give you feedback on their abilities, maybe how they see that they could progress, and
it's a little bit of both. So we have a pretty broad recruitment process.
How Dennis got started.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we work with the schools. We also, we advertise online. We work with different counselors and teachers, and so we're casting a very wide net to find the best and the brightest.
So you find that can the student apply? Or say somebody's watching this program and they say, my gosh, I'd love to get into that, or I'd love to get my child into it. How do they how do they get in touch with you first, with the program, first of all?
So any 6th grade student, so it would be 6th grade this
has to be
year.
6th grade.
It has to be. There's only one entry point, unfortunately, and
you can't, like, if you're in 7th.
Yeah, it's too late. So
it's definitely
we have to make a 10-year commitment. So check out our website at btny.org, and we'll start doing recruitment this fall. And you have to apply to the program, and we give you all the steps as far as how to apply, but definitely check us out online.
btny.org.
Yep.
btny.org. And everything is up there to tell them how to go about it. How many do you take per year? Yeah,
so historically we've received about somewhere at 300 applications. Of the 300, we take about 90 kids.
Is that nationwide? 300?
No, just within New York.
Oh, and out of the 300 you take?
Take about 90. So it's about a 30% acceptance rate. So, it's not crazy competitive, but it is selective. And so any student who wants to apply to us should definitely think about, do they have good grades? Are they at or above grade level in terms of their statewide tests? And, are they coming from backgrounds where their families can't necessarily afford extracurricular, supplemental education?
So, I mean, do they actually have to give you financial information as well?
They do. So as part of our application process, we do ask for parent tax forms, only so that we can confirm that these are families who really do need our help, because we don't actually charge tuition. And so we're really looking at families who couldn't otherwise afford educational services like ours.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So when they get, to get accepted, you have to meet all this criteria. Then, of course, that you do excel in your classes. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure Dennis did. There was some reason he got that program.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak on his
Well, I'm sure Dennis,
story, or Dennis would like to?
Dennis will definitely
How did
speak
you?
to it.
Yeah.
How did you
Definitely.
get started in the program?
So-
Did you hear about it somewhere?
Yeah. So as Rhea mentioned, Breakthrough did a lot of scouting, and they went to a lot of schools in which they had teachers, counselors, people who they had connections with. And so what they did when they came up to us in our schools.
Which is where?
So my middle school
Where?
was Central Queens Academy, located in Elmhurst, and
Oh, in
there's another
Elmhurst,
campus
okay.
in
And
Glendale.
you live there as well?
I live in
And
Corona,
you live
so
in
it's very
Corona.
close. And so they came up to us and they talked about what Breakthrough is, what the purpose and mission is of Breakthrough, and what the day-to-day life was at Breakthrough. So you have the pros and you have the cons, and they left it up to us to weigh whether it was right for us, if it's something that we wanted to pursue. And right from when they began their presentation, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I have the drive. I have the academic, rigor, and so I feel that I may be a good candidate for Breakthrough. So I began to inquire about the program. I think the way to apply is different from when I did it before. I think now it's mostly online. But we had to go through a few rounds of interviews.
The interviews are so important, though.
Yeah,
so it's
definitely.
good that you had the interviews, because online a little less.
Yeah,
No,
so-
they still have the interviews.
Yeah, well, there are
And
multiple
then it
processes.
just to before they come for the interview, just like the jobs now.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah,
an
you have
application,
to-
and then
yeah.
we invite some portion of the applicants to one-on-one interviews, which as an 11-year-old can be quite daunting.
It
And I will
Yeah.
say,
Oh, that's true.
I-
You were 11?
Yeah, I was
That's right,
11,
that's
and
what we
I was terrified, to be
I
frank.
can imagine an interview with all these people.
Yeah, well,
how many people would there be there?
well, it's actually 2 adults in a room and
Oh.
one little 11-year-old, and then we have a group interview process, and we also interview families. So, you know, in Breakthrough's world, we say we don't just accept kids, we accept families.
So the family comes,
The
but
family
they're
comes.
not in on his personal interview. set.
No,
So that-
there's a separate interview
You leave
process.
him alone with those two strangers.
Yeah, look, it takes a really
Yeah,
exceptional
that's-
kid.
Yeah, that
but-
tells you something about the child.
Yeah, I mean,
too.
but it's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
all about self-motivation and self-direction. And Dennis is too humble to tell you, but he was really an excellent candidate. He had that spark, he had that drive. We saw something in his eyes, and you know, to us, he's the perfect Breakthrough kid.
I can see it.
Yeah,
Yes.
mature,
Thank you.
focused, driven.
Beyond his years.
Wise beyond his years. And luckily, we have the whole Quisby family. There are 3 other siblings.
Yes, I have 2 younger sisters who are
Oh, and
already
they're
in Breakthrough.
Yeah,
program
so
as
they're
well?
yeah. So we're committing to the Quisby family for the long term.
So, but you're the oldest, and you were the first. So
Yes,
how lucky
yes.
that you heard of this when you were
I know.
6th grade,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things could have gone very differently.
and that it helped your sisters as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
See, meant to be. Absolutely. So what's the? Maybe we'll see a little video.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
of one of the classrooms. I saw that it looked like a classroom.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing you'll see is that all of our teachers are high school and college students themselves. So
Very
it's
young.
sometimes hard to tell which ones are students and which ones are teachers.
Well, yeah. All teachers look young to me.
I know.
You know,
Believe
you
me,
get
the
older and you
older I
go,
get,
when did these teachers get so young?
yeah,
Well,
I know.
because you get older. So we'll be looking at that in a couple of seconds. And there it goes.
Here is hardworking. That's more direct, right? Through her actions or through the way. Telling us how Favor's feeling, right? So on this next slide, we're going to see the exact opposite. We're going to see indirect characterization. Randall, can you read this quote for us?
Mildred Montauk called. She returned singing.
That says, we burned 1,000 books last night. We burned a woman. How does she respond? Well, so what is that? What kind of response is that?
This table. Sophie.
I said the gummy bears are small, they're squishy, the color's vibrant.
Great. I like that you talked about the texture, right? Or maybe squishy. That's good. How about over here? Sazi, what did you write down?
So that was a typical. Where is that?
That's actually in the South Bronx. So we have 3 locations: one in the South Bronx, one in Manhattan, and one in Brooklyn.
But now they go to. You just said you went to. What school do you attend now?
So I go to the Dalton School, which is on the Upper East Side, and the location in which I was for the middle school program was in Manhattan at the Town School, which is on 76th and East.
But was this preparing them for this particular video we just saw?
So we have summer and after school programs, and so this was a summer program.
This summer,
and so the idea is that we're preparing them for the year ahead, so that once they enter the next grade, they've already seen a lot of the curriculum.
Oh.
And so we're taking kids who are already pretty advanced in their classes and accelerating them even more in the summer.
So they go into the summer classes. You probably did say that. I just
it's
lost
okay.
track for a second. Oh, when I first saw the video, it did say summer. Now I realize.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So again, I mean, it's pretty incredible. These are kids who are willingly giving up their summers when
That's
most
what
kids
that's
are
what I
running
thought.
around outside. These are kids like Dennis who are saying, I'm going to give up 3 of my summers. I'm going to school 8 to 4 every
3.
day, Monday through Friday for 5 weeks in the summertime. I get 2 to 3
and
hours
Monday
of
through
homework.
Friday,
Monday
and
through
it's just
Friday.
like regular school.
Like regular
Wait,
school.
2 or 3 hours of homework is probably even.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but these are kids who are very motivated and understand that
Wow.
the long-term
God bless
payoff
us.
is important. I mean, Dennis, you could speak to like why did you decide to make this commitment? It's a pretty big one.
I mean, Breakthrough made it clear, like very early on, that the possibilities and like the doors that are opened up once you become a Breakthrough student are almost endless. So when I was introduced to that idea, I was like, I'm going to apply to this program, and up till now, everything up till now, and still continuing, everything that Breakthrough has promised, they have fulfilled. They prepared us for lots of tests, for the high school admissions process.
Yes.
And they're right now, even during the school year, they're like continuing to support us and to check up on us. And
How do they check up on you?
So Breakthrough hires, they hire mentors during the school year. So during the high school year, I have monthly calls with one of my mentors. And we basically talk about how everything's going at school, what extracurriculars you're involved in, what's going on with your life, how are your grades, the most
So you're not
important
just
question.
thrown into the Dalton school, and they mentor you along the way.
No. If that were that were in
Then-
the case,
then you
I
can
would
lose.
I would be
Yeah.
very lost.
Yeah.
It's such a different experience. Going to such a academically rigorous school that without Breakthrough, I would not feel the same level of comfortableness.
So, and now you'll help him get into college
We
as
are.
well.
So we have an extensive high school and college placement guidance, and actually once he's in college, we do ongoing support. So we have mentors in college. We help them with internships. We help them with selecting
great.
their classes. So, I mean, Fran, if you think about it, we're sort of making up for the middle class parents that our kids don't have. Most of our kids are first in their families to go to college, and coming from backgrounds like Dennis's, where that maybe immigrant parents who don't understand the school system and how things work. And so, as an organization, we're really focused on leveling the playing field for smart kids who are really motivated and can take it to the next level.
Well, that's fantastic. And do you get volunteers? Are these young people that I saw in the classroom? Are they volunteering?
Well,
Some of
we
them, or-
actually pay them, not very much, but they're part of an internship. So we're one of the top 10 Princeton Review internships in the country, and then throughout the year we have a number of volunteers and stipended positions. So if any of your viewers are interested in volunteering, check out btny.org. All the information is on the website.
There you go. You can volunteer and do your part to help these young people make it in a tough world and get an
Yeah.
education and help along the way. That's
Yeah,
important,
that's
because then you
exactly.
could kind of lose your interest. But I'm sure that the mentor that you speak to helps you to have that enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
And your experience when you first started, was it a little daunting? I mean, you had
Yeah.
to go into, well, what, was that in the Bronx? Where did you go?
He was
for
in
your-
Manhattan.
So I went to Manhattan
So you went
at
to
the town
Manhattan?
school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So your parents had to take you. You were only 11, or did you go yourself?
I did not have to. I had to commute. This is my
Yeah.
first time commuting
By yourself?
myself, and yes,
11 years
to
old.
Manhattan. That's an even bigger jump, and I was it was a very daunting experience.
I
Not just the
bet.
commute, but like the entire program in general. It took some getting used to, having to go to school in the summer and taking all these classes that were basically the next year's classes. So you sort of felt like after school ended, you're sort of having to jump into a whole other set of classes
3 summers.
for 3 summers. Yes.
No time for beaches and running
Well,
around.
yeah. During
But
the
look
month,
at-
during the month
but
of July,
you'll have
but
more of a
August.
future than some of those people.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I think in the end, it all pays off in the long run. I'm definitely not like seeing I'm seeing the short-term benefits, but the long-term benefits, I can't even imagine how amazing, they will be.
They will be, and I'm sure you see in your neighborhood other friends and say, gee, they could be doing more, because you probably start to think that way now that you're involved in something like this. Do you look at them and say, oh, I wish they could join this program? You want to?
Yeah,
Wish they
sadly,
could do
yes,
it
yes.
too, 'cause
There are
there's so many people that need that help.
And there are so many more people than the people who are in Breakthrough who have that potential and who are just as smart or smarter than the students who are in Breakthrough. But I mean, the lucky ones who are
Yeah.
privileged enough to be part of this Breakthrough community, Breakthrough looks at their potential and the work that they do while in Breakthrough, they're rewarded with these amazing benefits. Well, not benefits, but I think rewards for just, doing their best and they get what they deserve, whether it's getting into a good high school, a good college, they reap the benefits of what they sacrifice.
Is there actually help, like you wanted to go to the Dalton School? Now, was that a difficult process? Did your mentors have to speak to anyone at the Dalton School to get you in, or
Yeah.
how did that work?
Yeah, well, Dennis can certainly speak about his process, but we do work with our kids, and so the idea is that we want all of our kids to attend college preparatory high schools, whether it's public, private, or parochial. And so, every year, about 20 to 30% of our kids do go on to independent schools, whether it's day or boarding. And so our team works very closely with kids and their families to help explore all of the different options, because I do think a lot of families think that, private school may not be a possibility because it's so expensive, and what they don't know is that there is financial aid available, there is scholarship money available for talented kids.
Now more than ever, isn't there?
Well, I mean, look, I think
Is there more than ever now
well,
for college?
well, potentially for college. I mean, for high schools, not
But
so
for
much
high
because
school,
it's
no.
not federally funded.
So when you say any funds, I mean, just traveling for some people,
Yeah.
the car fare, the
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to have lunch.
Yeah, at Breakthrough, so we actually provide breakfast, lunch, and snack and Metro cards for all of our kids. So we are full service.
Because I was thinking that's an expense.
Yeah,
even,
it is
just
an
to-
expense. So
that
we
could be a burden more on the family
yeah,
too.
it certainly could be. So we're not only are we tuition free, but we also really think about the whole child and how can we really make kids feel like they're taken care of. And we also
Great.
provide materials, and we provide all the books they need.
Books. I know some of the schools, here in Queens. I know from friends who tell me they're actually being asked to provide extra notebooks, pens, pencils, whatever
Yeah.
they can bring,
Yeah.
because of course some students can't afford
Sure.
it. And I said, I really hope the ones who can afford do not take
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Because that does happen.
It
Of
does- it
course,
does
we know.
happen,
But
sure.
but mostly you're helping people
Well-
who really need it,
well,
I think.
right. So we identify families who don't have a lot of financial means at the beginning. So we know these are not families that have extra money to afford these sort of things. But we really don't want our families or our kids to have to worry that they can't provide. We want them to feel like they're on an equal playing field. We want them to feel like they have all the tools necessary to succeed. And so, we're very lucky that we have donors who can help us out and provide the necessary materials for our kids.
Oh, so you do have donors.
We do have donors. We this past year we are raising about $3 million in private funds to
Oh.
support our program.
Sounds like a lot, but
It is. No, it is a lot of money.
It's a lot, but
But we're very lucky. We have very generous donors. We have
that's good.
foundations who support us. So my job is primarily to work with our donors to raise the money for kids like Dennis.
oh, is it primarily? That's primarily your.
Well, as executive
I mean,
director,
you seem to. It's like a lot.
It's
There's
a lot.
There's
There's
a
a lot
stuff.
going on. I like
Yeah.
to say I do the fundraising, the PR, the board management. I'm head janitor too. It's anything that needs to get done, I'll do.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Now we have another video, and I think this video was shown at one of your events.
Yes, this
so
is our gala video.
I think it's going to play in just a few seconds,
Okay.
and you can.
Can I tell you a little bit about it?
Yeah. Just.
Yes.
Just oh, there it is.
Oh. Should I
I
tell you?
remember starting that way. So,
Being Latino and being Puerto Rican, you have this sort of stereotype. Everybody looks at you a different way. Any school I go to, they're like, "Oh, do you play baseball?" No, I'm coming here on an academic scholarship. I'm smart too, like you. When I was growing up, it was me being focused on my work all the time, not with much guidance. My dad really wasn't there all the time. My mom needs help. She can only do so much by herself.
Being the only parent, it was a little bit of a struggle. I had to be there for them financially and emotionally because it wasn't easy for them not having their dad. I was really excited for him when he came to me and told me about Breakthrough.
When Breakthrough got there and they told us about the opportunity to be with kids who are academically driven and still do extracurricular activities, I was like, whoa, these are the type of kids I want to be with. They all want to go to college, go to great high schools and graduate and do well and be the leaders of this world. And finding those people that were motivated definitely helped me to strive for my goals and not sacrifice what I know I need to do to get where I want to be. Breakthroughs meant a second family, sort of that father figure. It's definitely lifted weight off my mother's shoulders, so she's more focused on, okay, David, are you happy now? Or are you being fed? And not focused on, oh, are you doing your homework? Who are you talking to? Things like that, because she knows I'm at Breakthrough and talking to the right people.
When David entered my life, it sort of motivated me because I wanted to be better than myself I was already, and I wanted to be better than him. Because he served as that sort of the pinnacle of success. He seems like that guy that knew what he was doing, knew where he was going in life, and that's where I wanted to be with myself.
So often when I interview kids when they're entering the program, they talk about the fact that they have a seriousness about academics that a lot of their peers don't have. Breakthrough gives them a community of like-minded kids who really care about school. They care about having fun too, but they care about achieving their goals, and that community is so important to their success in doing that.
It feels good for myself to sort of open the door and show other people that are like me that, hey, you can do it as well.
I can't wait, for those 4 years to pass and be at his graduation.
Breakthrough kids are smart, they're motivated. I think what our organization does for them is we help them access the resources they need to take that motivation to the success that we know they can achieve and that they come to understand they can achieve. David Silva's story is the story of so many of our kids. His experience at Breakthrough has changed his life, his family's life, and the lives of everyone he touches. It's a ripple effect.
It's more than just my family and doing it for my mom, and my dad's doing it for everyone that looks up to me and everyone that is like me.
For 18 years, Breakthrough New York has been changing lives and communities. Breakthrough students are role models for their siblings and peers.
Why would anyone support Breakthrough? Why wouldn't they? It's helping our children. A community raises a child, not just one person. The community of Breakthrough helped me with David. If there's people with resources helping Breakthrough, they can help so many other children.
When you give a gift to Breakthrough, you are changing a kid's life. And I don't think you can understate the impact that they have when we give them the building blocks they need to be successful.
I've been given all these opportunities from Breakthrough and all these opportunities from the people who have made an impact on me, and giving back and being able to help others so that they can do great as well. That is the most satisfying moment when you know that you've made an impact on someone else and now they're doing better. If I'm not helping someone else, if I'm not passing down my knowledge and my opportunities, like, what is the point of me having that knowledge?
Very nice.
Yeah.
It makes you a little choked up.
Yeah, well, you know, David
Yeah.
Silva I've known since he was 11, and now he is at Babson College on a full scholarship studying business. So he's
wonderful.
well on his way. I think we're all going to be working for David Silva one day.
Yes. Bravo.
Yeah, thank you.
And Dennis, we did not ask you what your interest is. What do you want to be?
Oh,
Oh my, that's I mean, that's
Tell
a
us what you've
question that I'm
achieved.
so.
I think you speak another language or two.
Sí, yo puedo hablar español. I can
Oh,
talk Spanish. I can talk in Spanish. That's my native language.
Well,
That's
you're
my
from
native.
Ecuador, is that
Yes,
correct?
I'm from Ecuador, and I'm proud, and I believe that we got to keep our culture alive. And
yes.
because of that, I'm taking a Spanish, an advanced Spanish class at my school.
Oh, you
And
are.
yeah, even though some of it, I'm good with the speaking portion of it, grammar and writing. It's not so good.
That's the hard part, the grammar and the writing.
Yeah.
Right?
and what else are you taking, Dennis?
I'm also
Nosotros and all the
grammar, and there's
Yeah.
so many different dialects
Yeah.
that it's so hard to keep up with. But I mean, it's amazing because learning another language and mastering it. That's I think that's one of the things that
Well,
bring me
So,
joy.
so
And
we
Dennis
have a
is-
minute, like
oh,
a minute left.
okay.
Do you want to? Is it? You haven't decided where you want to go in your life? Teach Spanish or just in general? You don't. You're not sure.
I think that starting Dalton, I've engaged myself in so many languages. So additionally, from apart from Mandarin, I just revealed it. I take Mandarin Chinese also.
That's what I thought. That's what
I take
thought.
Mandarin Chinese also, and it's a very, very fast-paced language, and it's tonal. It has lots of characters, and I think, the more I hear about it being one of the hardest languages in the world to study, I'm more driven
then you're
to
driven.
take on the language.
Dennis,
It's
it was
amazing.
wonderful to have you.
Likewise.
And I wish you all the best, and I think
Thank
we
you.
might be working for him as well.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you'll be a
Thank you
great
so
boss.
much. And
Thank
thank
you,
you all
Fran.
for watching. And I hope you will go to the website
btny.org.
and get involved with this group. You can volunteer, you can donate. There's a lot of things you can do to help these young people get ahead in this world. Okay, thanks again. Bye.